My earliest memories are haunted by a profound sense of absence. My mother's laughter, once the soundtrack to my days, was silenced when I was just 8 years old. Her death, sudden and unexpected, ripped a hole through our family, leaving me clinging to fragmented memories. I am your host, Robin, and welcome to One Level Up. Please like and subscribe. Little did I know then, this loss was just one link in a long chain of sorrow that stretched back generations. My father bore the weight of his own childhood trauma. His mother, my grandmother, passed away when he was only 3 years old, leaving him in the care of relatives. He grew up with a gaping wound in his heart, longing for a mother's love he barely had the chance to know. The cycle continued with my grandfather, a man who was left to raise his 4 brothers and sisters and exposed to life's harsh realities. He too experienced the devastating loss of his mother at the tender age of 10. This early trauma cast a shadow over his life, shaping his worldview and his interactions with the world. This shared history of loss connected us, but not in a way that fostered love and support. Instead, it created a sense of sadness, a silent understanding that pain was an inevitable part of our lineage. We were bound by our wounds, each generation carrying the weight of the one before. The echoes of these early losses reverberated through our lives in ways both subtle and profound. My father, emotionally distant and unable to express affection, struggled to connect with me in the wake of my mother's death. He loved me, I knew, but his own unhealed wounds made it difficult for him to provide the comfort and guidance I craved. I carried the weight of my mother's absence like a stone in my chest. It manifested in a fear of abandonment, a need for reassurance, and a pervasive sense of loneliness that followed me like a shadow. My relationships, both romantic and platonic, were often colored by this loss. My grandfather, gentle by his own childhood experiences, retreated further into himself after my grandmother's death. He became withdrawn, emotionally unavailable, and prone to quietness. His inability to cope with his grief created a ripple effect, impacting his children and eventually me. These patterns of behavior passed down from one generation to the next are the hallmarks of generational trauma. Like a genetic predisposition, these emotional wounds can be inherited, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in ways we may not even be aware of. The concept of toxic bloodlines might seem like something out of a Gothic novel, but the reality is far less dramatic and far more insidious. It's not about literal poison coursing through our veins, but rather the transmission of unhealthy coping mechanisms, negative thought patterns, and unresolved emotional baggage. These toxic legacies often manifest in our closest relationships. We may find ourselves repeating the same dysfunctional patterns as our parents or grandparents, drawn to partners who mirror our unresolved childhood wounds. We might struggle with addiction, health issues, or an inability to form healthy, lasting bonds. The insidious thing about toxic bloodlines is that they often operate below the level of conscious awareness. We may not realize that our behaviors, reactions, and choices are being influenced by the unresolved traumas of our ancestors. We simply accept these patterns as normal or just the way we are. But just because something is familiar doesn't mean it's healthy. These inherited patterns of dysfunction can keep us trapped in cycles of pain, preventing us from living our full potential and experiencing true happiness. Breaking free from the grip of generational curses requires a conscious effort to acknowledge, understand, and heal from the wounds of the past. It's a journey that takes courage, compassion, and a willingness to confront the darker aspects of our family history. Therapy can be an invaluable tool in this process, providing a safe and supportive space to explore our family dynamics, identify unhealthy patterns, and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Through therapy, we can begin to understand how our past continues to shape our present and learn to make different choices. Building a support system of trusted friends, mentors, or support groups can also be incredibly helpful. Sharing our experiences with others who understand the challenges of breaking generational curses can provide a sense of validation, hope, and encouragement. Most importantly, we must remember that we are not our ancestors. We have the power to choose a different path, to break free from the chains of the past and create a brighter future for ourselves and generations to come. The journey may be long and arduous, but the rewards of healing and liberation are immeasurable. Please pray, fast, and read the Word.